I gotta look good for the camera. Yo, what's up, guys? I'm live right now on You Now. The name's below. Come watch. Let's spread some positivity and love, so come watch. What else do you got to do?
Jawline is an aesthetic. Obviously, it's about the aesthetic of social media, where for these boys, it kind of starts with them having this beautiful chiseled jawline, and they kind of see themselves in these other people online. They're also getting famous off of live broadcasting, and I feel like it's like the entryway to thinking that they could do this. But it also, to me, represents what the girls want. And I would always ask these girls when they were at a show, like, what do you like about these boys? What they answer when I say this, like, they just love his hair and I love his jawline.
I think the perspective of like looking at these influencers and what they're providing for their followers and their fans is oftentimes referred to as just like vanity or how they look or whatever.
It also kind of represents how someone like Austin could think that he could have an entryway into this world just based on how he looks. As the film goes on, you kind of realize that everything is way more complicated than that, and there's a whole economy behind it.
My job is to help kind of sell my clients to brands and then help them sell themselves essentially to gain new followers or to gain people's adorations or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, it is in a way a commodity.
It's so crazy. There is no shortage of people wanting to be famous in social media, but you cannot simply just make content. You need a team and people working for your goals.
It started with me thinking about my own teenage years, and I was thinking about how intense all those emotions were during that time where everything just feels so extreme and it feels like life or death, and you feel like, you know, you're lonely and trapped, but you're also like having fun and everything is new. And I then had like a secondary thought of like, that must be so different today to experience those years, but experience them when your cell phone is an extension of yourself and the internet is just like intertwined with your everyday life, and social media is you and you are social media. Like, you're one and the same. There's so many influencers in like different spaces, but I think that the film takes place in like this one specific market of desire where it's like the teenage girls are in charge of what they get. I feel like the boys are doing whatever the girls want. And I feel like I always felt like there was like a power that the girls had. And I was really interested in that, where I was like, these boys are responding to their desires. So like the boys are the object of desire for the girls. And it's like, it's switched. They're not the boys you know at school. They're nicer. And they actually talk to you and they tell you nice things and they tell you to stay positive and they compliment you and they give you hugs and kisses and all these things.
I mean, what 16-year-old boy doesn't think they can change the world? And maybe it is naive, but is it wrong for a 16-year-old to think that? No. I think that's what social media is, in a way, is everyone being able to kind of like share their story, their life, their passion, whatever, with other people and connecting there.
I just realized there was like this whole world that was happening where people were like monetizing these followers and you know, making money off of these teenage girls' emotions, and these boys from like like random suburbs around America were getting really famous but with no talents, but they were like selling the fact that they were living their lives with these girls.
Broadcasting, it feels kind of weird, but it also feels like you have a family.
At first I didn't understand it.
They're like those friends that I've never had and I wish I had.
Opportunity does come across you some point in your life. It's just like whether you're smart enough to see it or take it.
This is kind of like a diary entry, a time capsule of both of our points in lives, and Austin and mine. A ton of people think that, even people like Austin think it's so easy to get into the industry, and to a certain level, maybe it's easy to get a camera and go live, but is it easy to keep doing that every single day?
I kind of just put feelers out of what I was looking for, and someone had randomly seen him on You Now, and I went and met him, and I just feel like I had been looking for someone who we could be with the day that they decided that they wanted to drop everything and become a live broadcaster and give it their all. But I also knew I wanted someone that was also really removed from where the scene was, which is like, you know, LA for a lot of the industry and stuff. And I kind of wanted someone who wanted to break in. And I think, you know, initially I thought I was filming a rise to fame story.
This film allows influencers the opportunity when they see it to connect to it and see like how hard it is to get there and relate to it that way. I think it gives girls who use social media or people who use social media an opportunity to see more about it. I think it gives people trying to break into the industry a cautionary tale almost. I think it gives people in the business a better visual of what it's like a little bit.
I think that I just want people to have an intelligent, like, critical dialogue around like how social media and how the way we use apps and engage with technology is affecting the way we behave as human beings. And I think it's affecting the way we think and the way we feel. And I do think that people aren't thinking about it as much as they should be. We're just consuming social media as second nature now. But are people stopping and thinking, what is it doing to them, and how is it changing the discourse of who they are? And so I think in the film you explore that through teenagers, where like how has the existence of social media changed the discourse of all of these teenagers' lives?
I'm not gonna settle in this small little town I live in. I gotta go explore the world. I gotta see how big the world is.
Life don't revolve around you and what you want.
I was a very like lost teenager, and like I feel like what I related to most with the girls was that feeling of feeling like lonely and like nobody cares and stuff. And I was very angsty. Like I always kind of felt like everything was so dark. I was like very like dark soul when I was a teenager, and I feel like I just felt like trapped, and I didn't have what they had. You know, I didn't really engage with with social media. I mean, I didn't have social media. We had like AOL and stuff, but like it wasn't a big part of my life at all. And I actually remember feeling truly stuck. And I feel like when these girls kind of expressed that to me, I related to it. But then I also felt I felt really hopeful in a weird way, where I was like, I felt that way too, but I didn't have these outlets like you have. So maybe this isn't a bad thing because you actually have these outlets. So I think it's just like the emotions are the same, but the time is different. A big thing in the film is like how a lot of what these girls are going through is not taken seriously because people dismiss teenage girls' feelings. Part of what I wanted to do in the film is like to stop and take a minute and be like, these are very real and very intense things they're going through. So I think that you have to listen, and you can't just think that, you know, teenage girls are just like being teenage girls. You have to actually stop and understand what they're going through.
Finding someone who looks cute on Instagram and gaining them 1 million followers is so easy to do. What happens when they're 30? Because when they're not cute, it's game over. There's no longevity behind it.
It is 10:06 p.m. I'm not famous right now. Hopefully I'll be famous soon.